we got some election results. Zuba sends this to me, and we talked about New York City, ranked choice voting on the ballot. And guess what? It went through. New York's getting ranked choice voting. What? What's going on here? All right. Oh, let me get the headline. Ranked choice voting adopted in New York City along with other ballot measures. New York City will move to a system of ranked choice voting, shaking up the way its elections are run after voters approved a ballot question to make the change. The city will be by far the biggest place in the U.S. to put the new way of voting to the test, tripling the number of people around the country who use it. A ballot question proposing the shift for New York primaries and special elections was approved Tuesday by a margin of nearly 3-1. So it's now set to be in effect for New York's elections for mayor, city council, and other offices in 2021. So it's not going to be on every election. It's mostly going to be local, but this is still a huge start. So here's a summary of what ranked choice voting is all about. If no candidate gets a majority of the vote, the last place candidate is eliminated and their votes are parceled out to the voter's second choice. So in other words, you rank your choices, hence ranked choice voting. So you vote someone first, and that's the person you want the most. Then you have someone in second who you'd want second most. You get the idea. And then when they tally it, the person who gets the least amount of votes, well, they're eliminated. So everyone who had them as their first choice, it now diverts to that person's second choice. As this article describes it, last place candidates eliminated, their votes get parceled out to the voter's second choice. This computerized process that continues until one candidate has the majority and is declared the winner. Ranked choice voting is now in use or approved in 18 other cities around the country, including San Francisco, Minneapolis, and Cambridge. And of course, the state of Maine also uses it. Lucy, not sure how she feels about it, I guess. At first she was bouncing. Now she's coming back. Welcome back. You were missed. So anyway, this is so here's what Fair Vote President Rob Rishi has to say about this. You've got to be, I think, a better candidate. You as a candidate have a lot more reasons to have conversations and engagement with people. The candidates that run traditional campaigns that involve using money and not using people have not done as well. Now, the plan will eliminate New York's traditional runoff elections, which are held for citywide offices if no candidate corrects 40% of the vote. The Independent Budget Office estimated that could save $20 million for each election cycle that would require a runoff. Interesting. So now one of the things the article points out, in cities where ranked choice has been tried, it has sometimes resulted in unorthodox campaign tactics like multiple candidates banding together into alliances with competitors to jockey for second and third place vote. Now, here's something interesting. Here in California, Governor Newsom vetoed a bill last month that would have allowed more cities and counties, there to use the system, saying it created too much voter confusion. It's not that confusing, Gavin Newsom. It's not that confusing. And what a deflection that is. First of all, congratulations to New York City. But man, saying that, oh, we don't want to do this in California, it might have too much voter confusion. As if they don't already try to confuse people as much as possible when it comes to elections. There's a special election. Only certain counties are voting. That was the way it was in California yesterday, by the way. Some neighborhoods were voting, some weren't. I had to double check in the morning. I double checked in the morning just to make absolutely sure. I'm like, I have to make sure I'm not supposed to go vote today. And I had to go to a couple different websites to make absolutely sure that I wasn't supposed to go out and vote. And I wasn't. But they make it as confusing, especially in local elections. We are 1 year away from you're going to have to crack a code and solve a riddle under a bridge to be able to vote in a local election. It's absolutely ridiculous. But ranking your choices would cause too much confusion. When I had to vote, so in 2016, I was touring a lot of colleges, especially during the election season. And on election day, I was not going to be in town. And I didn't want to do a mail-in voter or anything like that. I had recently moved to California. I was still pretty new to the area. So my point is I had to go and vote early. I lived in Los Angeles. Well, I still live in Los Angeles. I live in Los Angeles. Different apartment than I live in now in a different part of town. Like now I'm in the Pasadena area. But anyway, I had to drive 45 minutes to where the election headquarters are. which is outside of the city in a place, I think it's called like Norwalk or something like that. I had to drive out there to go vote early. There was no other early voting in a place like Los Angeles. I mean, if I lived in a small town, okay, that's one thing. I got to kind of make a trip if I want to vote early. Okay. But Los Angeles, there was nowhere else for people in the city of Los Angeles to vote early if they had to. And you had to give a reason, and I gave a reason. I was like, I'm traveling on work on election day. I can't physically be present on election day. I almost said I can't physically be president. I also could not do that. I could not physically be president on election day. Anyway, so good for New York City. This is good news. Now, again, this isn't going to have a big national impact right away because it's mostly happening in local elections. But New York City is going to be using this, and they're going to be talking about it, and other cities are going to want to follow suit. That's how this stuff works. When a place like New York City gets it, other cities want to follow suit, other places want to follow suit, and hopefully we get this national on a large scale. But we can guarantee it's going to be fought tooth and nail by the powers that be, Democrats and Republicans.
Get your news on with Ron. Don't you want to know what's going on? We're getting our news on today. Get your news on with Ron. Don't you want to know what's going on? We're getting our news on today. You can tweet me an article at Ron Placone. We'll go through it together and make it our own. Get your news on with Ron. Don't you want to know what's going on? We're getting our news on today.